Hi everybody. How's everyone doing today? My name is Tiffany Tarr, and I'm the Vice President of Sales here at Distributor Central. And today is a little bit out of my wheelhouse, so I brought some more seasoned experts with me. So I've got Chris Schlimmer, who is our Vice President of Development and Technology at Distributor Central, and Pablo Henke, who is our Director of Integrations, with me as well. So if you guys want to say hey. Today, and I know that we've been sending out a lot of emails over the last few weeks in regards to our development, our ability to help suppliers move forward with PromoStandards compliant product data through OneSource. And I know that a lot of that's been going out kind of in a written format. And so we wanted to do this in a little bit of a more casual format to allow for questions and answers and really hear from our experts on what PromoStandards is, why it's important, how Distributor Central has gotten involved with it, and what we've done to help suppliers achieve that industry standardization of product information. And it's more than just product information. So there will be several things that will be coming out from Distributor Central over the next, for the rest of this year. So the next, 9 months, now that we're in March, over the next 9 months that are just going to be continuing that process of adopting PromoStandards integration and helping suppliers streamline data and order communication in the industry. And one of the questions that I get asked a lot is why and what are we doing and how does this impact me? Distributor Central, I think we started writing code in 99. And when we started Distributor Central, it was started around the premise that as a supplier owns their own product information. And the product information is the supplier's, and we're not interested in reselling it to your customer. We don't believe that makes sense. We don't really approach it any differently than a supplier would approach a catalog or their website. So we've always taken the approach that as a supplier, once you're working with Distributor Central, it is our responsibility to put your product information wherever it is you need to go. No matter who it is, Distributor Central will work with you to get that product information from your company out of Distributor Central and into the hands of anybody else that were to need it. And we've done that over the years through several different technology approaches. But as the industry has been moving forward with the adoption of PromoStandards, we looked at this as an opportunity to once again do what Distributor Central has always done and help suppliers get their product information formatted into that industry standard and sent wherever they needed to go. And when we did that, we took a little bit of a different approach than maybe some other service providers in the industry. And we did not work to fit PromoStandards into what existed in Distributor Central from just a pure data standpoint. We took the approach of fitting standards into what we're now calling OneSource. So we, at the end of 2019, it was always even before we knew what was going to happen in 2020, our goal for 2020 was always to just really drill down and help suppliers get their product information into PromoStandards in a simplified manner. So when PromoStandards started, there were really just several suppliers that were able to adopt PromoStandards and adopt product pricing and configuration in the beginning. And it's complicated, it's time consuming, it requires some IT expertise. And we knew at Distributor Central that if we could do it for a supplier, we could repurpose and redo that work for all of our suppliers in the industry. So that is really what our involvement in OneSource is about, is taking the product information that we've already got from suppliers and helping them achieve that next level with industry integrations and industry standardization of product sets. So I am going to, today we want to keep everything pretty just kind of open. I know a lot of suppliers have questions about PromoStandards, but they don't know where to ask them. They don't know how it fits within their own product information and how it's going to work. So as we're going through all of this information today, and as Chris is presenting just more information from a technical level, use that question and answer section in your Zoom meeting to send in those questions, and I'm going to be facilitating those and asking those questions as we go along so that we make sure that we've done what we can help do, and that's answer all technical questions about something that can be kind of complicated and try to make it more simple to consume for all suppliers. Chris, are you ready to start?
Yes.
Great. So we're going to kind of go through some different sets, some different pieces of information about what PromoStandards is, why it's important, and I'm going to move the slides around as Chris speaks, and we will get started.
All right. So
let me get to the beginning, I guess. All right. Here we go. You ready?
All right. So to kind of give a little basis, a background to PromoStandards, to some of the suppliers that may or may not have heard enough about it. Basically, it's a standard for the industry for distributors and suppliers and service providers to talk with one another. And there's been a couple attempts in the industry over the years, but this one is by far, I think, the most advanced so far in terms of adoption. A lot of suppliers and distributors are already using it. And we feel like it's something that we definitely need to help our customers, both suppliers and distributors, be able to interact with more. So with that said, one of our internal goals has always been around being able to provide a software platform that will support a company no matter their size. The large suppliers of the industry have been able to achieve PromoStandards, but it's been quickly, when you get to the end of that list of suppliers, it quickly drops off because the investment, like the development investment or cost involved in building out a PromoStandards solution, has been typically very, very high. You need technical staff, you need developers, you need ongoing support, and the list can go on. And so we feel it's very important to help our customers achieve that without having to worry about the technical burden of that. And so, if you keep that in mind, and all these slides that we're talking about, we're trying to make this as easy as possible without having to worry about the technical side. So we have taken the approach of defining what PromoStandards means in two tiers or two levels. There's a basic PromoStandards and an advanced PromoStandards. We have simplified it down to this level so suppliers can know where they stand in terms of what your product data looks like and what you're achieving for the industry, and distributors and service providers that want to use that data. So what we started with about 2 months ago, we released basic PromoStandards for 100% of our suppliers, our supplier customers. So in other words, everyone on this call that's a Distributor Central customer has basic PromoStandards. What that means is marketing level data, base product data, images, bullet points, descriptions, those kind of things. And it can go on and on. It's pretty lengthy. A lot of it, if you think of it as marketing data or something that you put into a website or advertisement, that's what that is. And then our second tier is advanced PromoStandards. And what that means is where you really get into that is on orders. And orders are when you need to be able to build out an order with all your options and all your choices, all your decoration locations, imprint locations, anything that you might have on your product. That's where advanced comes in. And that's what we need to tailor to the supplier's own product base in order to get that right. A lot of Distributor Central's data already has that, but there will be pieces that we'll need to collect from you all as well, in addition, that Distributor Central hasn't in the past in order to meet PromoStandards completely.
And I think it's important to understand when we talk about those two different service types, those two service types are in line with PromoStandards service types as well. So there's a basic level achievement, and then there's an advanced achievement that suppliers might need at a request from a distributor, or as you start moving into invoice and order services as well.
All right.
And these are just a breakdown of the service types, just at a visual level. What we've already achieved for every supplier that's on this call today is the basic level PromoStandards service compliance. So we've already achieved media content inventory and the product data. If you're somebody that's going to be looking at that advanced and you're going to need to kind of complete that full circle, this is what these are, what the advanced incorporates is additional data connections for invoice and for order shipment notification, and just really creating a full circle order. Chris, anything else here you want to add?
No, I think that covers it.
Okay.
So to kind of give a basis of what we're going to be releasing multiple pieces throughout the year. Our next major release or piece of the release will be a product display. So you all can see what your product looks like in a PromoStandards format. It's something that I have a passion about. PromoStandards started about 6 years ago, 6 to 7 years ago in the industry. And every year there's a lot of customers that are out, distributors and suppliers out there that say, what does PromoStandards look like? It's a very, very data-oriented model. There's a lot of data. There's a lot of fields and text. It's very, very hard to read from a technical level, from just a normal human looking at it. So we developed a page that will output what a PromoStandards products look like in a very, very visual approach, something that makes sense to to someone that's reading it, from either an orderability level or just a product display level. And so this will be our next step on that, is to be able to show our suppliers what this looks like. Because Distributor Central will format our product data in a certain way. PromoStandards is similar, but there's a lot of differences as well. And this is what you're going to see. These are just a couple of screenshots of what that display will look like. And then you can dive into that.
So this display is not quite out yet, and I'm a visual person, so it's hard for me to look at just a bunch of lines of code and a spreadsheet and understand what that product's going to look like. And I think a lot of suppliers kind of fit into that category. So we're going to give you the ability to see what that data output looks like. So we're going to take all of that code and all of those product pieces that you're giving us, and we'll be able to, in our new interface, show you what that data looks like to your customer who's going to be consuming or is consuming product data through either a PromoStandards API or through Distributor Central's OneSource consumption. Chris, I've got a couple of questions that I think fit really well with right where we're at. At this moment, can you talk about what is available in those advanced services?
Sure.
In the advanced product set, and then kind of what that looks like, what that will look like at the end of the year.
Yeah, so advanced is not an all or nothing. That was one of the questions, is whether you have to do everything of advanced in order to get to advanced. The answer to that, I guess, really sometimes depends on your product line and how complete you want your product order to look like when an order does come in. That's something that, definitely we would have to work with you and understand, your business in order to answer that. But in general, 90%, 80% of what's in DC right now will get us to advanced. There's just a handful of pieces that we will need to collect if we want 100% of advanced to, to be complete. Imprint location is one of them. Imprint location is a term that is used in PromoStandards a lot to define, where you're imprinting a product. It could be a piece of paper or it could be an apparel product. That is something that is critical to the PromoStandards order process. And so we would need to be able to collect that from you and insert it, import it into DC, so then we can have that available. But if that wasn't provided, there are options available for that as well. We can do a everywhere location. We can do, there's other options available, but we didn't want to make those decisions until we talked with you. So
we're really taking a consultative approach to suppliers that are needing or interested in moving forward quickly with that advanced level of product data. All suppliers will eventually get there, but we're really we're taking a look at your product information. We're taking a look at the way that it's set up, what might be missing, and with our data team building more of a custom approach to helping each supplier based on their unique needs achieve that advanced level. And I think, Chris, let's just pretend I'm a supplier that's got 500 products in my line, and 500 seems overwhelming to work with. Would I be best served to maybe just start with the top 20% of my product line, or my top 50 products, or what would you do to achieve that?
That would be my suggestion as well. We've had other suppliers already take that approach to try to take their top 50, get them out there. It also allows our suppliers to see what those products look like once we set up those 50. So, say we set up the 50 alongside you and work really closely with you, you could then start seeing what those products look like and potentially even set up the rest on your own after you see how those are set up. There's not a ton of complication, complexity to advanced. Maybe advanced is a little strong of a word, but it's just that it's more complete is probably the better way of explaining it. You can go as far as you want to, and the more complete you make it, the more orderable it is for your customers. So, yeah.
Okay, and keep sending those questions in. Those are really great questions. So what we're going to talk about now is we've been sending this information out via email to our suppliers. The first step in achieving PromoStandards compliant product data through OneSource is we configured all of your product information, and we sent out a letter to all the suppliers that are on DC, and we sent you some directions on how to move forward with generating your endpoint on PromoStandards.org. And so if you've sent us back that information, and if you haven't, please do, but if you've sent us back that information, we created the endpoint on PromoStandards.org to make your product information available through PromoStandards. And then once that happens, Chris, tell us a little bit about how distributors can start to consume it. So if they've got a distributor partner that's coming to them saying, are you compliant with PromoStandards? How would they can say yes now, but what other supplemental information would they need to give them for that distributor to then consume their product data?
Sure. So there's two ways a distributor can find your endpoints. One is it's listed on PromoStandards.org, which is the official website for PromoStandards. And the second is inside our OneSource portal. And our OneSource portal for distributors lists out all the suppliers that have PromoStandards access, which is all our suppliers, along with the APIs to each of those suppliers' product data. And so from a distributor's perspective, and this is what makes us unique to this industry again, is a distributor integrates with DC and OneSource one time. Once they integrate with us, they have access to our entire supplier network. And the difference with that versus everybody else is you have to integrate one by one with individual suppliers with other platforms. And with us, you integrate once and then they have access to everybody. So it allows us to onboard suppliers and get distributors going a lot faster than ever before. And so, like I say, the simplest way of saying this: distributor logs in, they get an access key, they get access to your product data within about 3 steps.
And what are we seeing so far from just distributors starting to consume that product information? Like, what are distributors saying that have maybe directly integrated one-to-one and now looking to consume hundreds at one integration level? What are we seeing from them?
The biggest place where they're seeing the most bang for their buck is the single integration is large, very, very, it saves a ton of time. You could, on average, spend hours to weeks on integrating with individual suppliers in the past. This is, eliminating that. So when they initially integrate, they get access to anyone today as well as into the future. The second piece is our speed. So before, you were always at the mercy of the supplier's API. It's kind of getting a little technical, but basically each supplier can have a different response. You go to a website, think of it from that perspective. Some websites are faster than others. With OneSource, our response is as fast for any supplier. And so a distributor can use our product data in real time, which means your product data is a lot more accurate to distributors than if they had to download it, say, once a day or once a week. they can actually access your data in real time, which will help orderability, pricing updates, and things like that. So.
And just so as I know everyone on this meeting is suppliers, we will be doing the same webinar and same Q&A with the distributor, with the specifics of the distributor base here in the next few weeks. I think we covered most of this. This is just how they can get credentialing. This information is out there in an email as well, and we'll send this as follow-up to all of the suppliers that are on here. But this actually gives you like a help document that you can send to distributors that are asking about your product information and how to consume it and how to get that API key.
And
anything else, Chris, that we need to add in here?
Yeah, this answer the really simple question on is if someone comes to you and says, how do I access your PromoStandards product data? The answer is sign up for OneSource, get registered for OneSource, log into our portal, get the API key, and that's the end. And we will send out these instructions at the end as well. They may already have access, I guess is another thing to say, is they may already have access from another supplier's access. So they might not even need to sign up. They might just automatically get access to yours.
And we have Pablo on the phone with us as well. And we know that there are some suppliers that are working really hard to achieve that advanced level of integration with PromoStandards. And so to make it easy and to help us kind of organize the suppliers that you can be working with, we have put together a link that'll allow you to sign up for some time with Pablo to give him an opportunity to review your product information and build a plan for your company on what data is needed to fill in to achieve that full advanced PromoStandard compliant products data. Pablo, do you at all want to talk a little bit about when we've been working with other suppliers in this type of a setting, kind of what you're seeing and what that process looks like?
Yeah, it really just depends on, each supplier's data is kind of unique and unique to them. So typically when I do meet with suppliers, I'm just trying to get an understanding of how they want their products to be displayed to the industry and what's the best way for their products to be ordered. And then we look at, what do they have in DC, Distributor Central, and just identify any data that's been missing. Typically, we haven't been the best in the past on getting the imprint areas, which is very important for the advanced promo standards. So we're just trying to gather the information on the imprint areas and make sure the costs are correct and that it's orderable. So it's really just a unique to each supplier that I deal with.
And
Great.
we'll provide.
And so this will, go ahead.
We'll provide suggestions as much as you want as well. We have best practices we've defined, over the years, what we've seen a lot of other suppliers do. That's why we need to work with you on this. We can go as far as making, as many suggestions as you like on how to organize your product to best fit.
And one of the things I think is important is we're really your partner in this process. We understand and recognize that not everybody has an IT staff, not everybody has some of this information readily available or has someone on staff that knows how that their mind works this way. And we are your technology partner in the industry. And so no matter what happens, we're going to figure out a way to help you achieve PromoStandards 2.0 or PromoStandards 1.0 or advanced product information through a PromoStandards configured and compliant product set. So don't be overwhelmed or be afraid to set up a meeting with us because of the imprint area. I don't even know what it would be, but we're really going to be your partner and we're really going to be your technology resource to make sure that you can achieve this in an efficiently, cost-effective, and time-efficient way. Pablo's really great at helping suppliers, and he's really patient because he works with me, and he's patient with me. And then one of the questions that we get a lot is once the product information is in OneSource, and the product information is also available through PromoStandards as their directory, who can consume it? So what what levels of individuals or business types within our industry can consume that product information through those integrations? Chris, do you want to answer it, or do you want me to answer it?
Sure. I think that, one of the things that, Tiffany mentioned at the beginning was the fact that we want to get it out to all your customers, no matter who they are, whether it's, a service provider such as ASI, or, a large company such as, Geiger, or someone like that. We are, working with all of them on trying to get those connections going. And then one of the benefits of PromoStandards is that it's standardized. They have access to your product data, and it's going to be up to them to consume it. We are not restricting your product data from any of these companies in the industry. We will allow any of these service providers to access it.
And I think it's important and I know we say this all the time, and I feel like I say it all the time, but we are an open source database. Anybody in the promotional products industry, if you are telling me that they need to consume your product information, there is no reason in 2021 why a supplier would be manually updating or even manually sending spreadsheets to 10 different locations within the industry. That just doesn't make sense. If you as a supplier say, my product information needs to go here, we have resources to get your product data from point A to point B, no matter who point B is. Chris, do you want to talk about, so what we've done and what we said we were going to do for 2020 was achieve PromoStandards product integration for every supplier in Distributor Central, and we've done that. We have finished the development, Chris, if I'm accurate, on product data configuration. Is that accurate? So we are ready to move forward from a development standpoint to the next thing. So the next thing, do you want to talk about what is on our development roadmap as to what we're going to be achieving and helping suppliers achieve by the end of 2021?
Sure. So some of the biggest pieces now is to, product data, the technical side of, the product data configuration is done. Now we're going to start working with our suppliers on making sure their product data is, the most accurate it can be, because orders come, the best orders come from accurate product data. And so that's one of the things that, we want to make sure we're working through at the end of the year on. So we'll be working on that with all our suppliers. And at the same time, from the technical side, we're going to be working on developing the order side of the product of PromoStandards. So all our suppliers have access to PromoStandards order level APIs as well by the end of the year. And again, what that means is distributors that want to send orders to you in PromoStandards format, they can, regardless of you having the ability to handle it from a technical level. We will receive that order. We will turn it into an order inside DC, and you can see it, from a human level, what the order looks like. You can print it, you can email it, that kind of thing. And then you'll be also be able to communicate back to that distributor with order status updates, tracking, that kind of thing. So we will achieve PromoStandards for everybody using our interfaces. And those distributors can access those APIs that way.
And I know, Chris, we have not finished that development on the order, on helping suppliers achieve order support. When that achievement happens, what will order support look like for a distributor? What or a supplier? What will they just get, like a notification on a PromoStandards compliant order?
So most likely we will have multiple options, again, to support orders. And so we understand, again, that, every supplier is different in what they want to do with their orders. We can go as far as you can use our order management platform to support your order end to end, your whole order process end to end. If you don't do that, you can also still receive those orders via email, PDF, inside our portal, and then update those as necessary during your order process. And we have multiple APIs to update those orders through. You can also update those orders straight through our portal. The most important thing about PromoStandards is these distributors want to have updates on your orders. They want to know when it ships. They want to know when it's in proof. They want to know tracking information, order status, that kind of thing. And in order for you to be able to do that, you need to be able to communicate that back to them. And we'll have different platforms to do that. Like I say, the most simple is just logging into our portal to do that. So.
I feel like this was kind of really simple, but so I want to just recap kind of I guess a human level. We have already achieved promo standards for every single supplier who's listed product information on Distributor Central. That has already been done. You are already compliant with promo standards. Your distributors can consume it one of two ways. They can get your API, and they can go to promostandards.org and consume the product information through your endpoint there. They can also consume product information through OneSource's product endpoint. If a distributor is consuming it through OneSource, they're going to be able to make that integration once and then choose the suppliers that they need to integrate with. If they're going to go one-to-one, that's a little bit different. And most of the time, distributors are asking for that one-to-one integration. Wouldn't you think, Chris? They've already, that's something that they're well versed in at that point. So we've already achieved the basic level product promo standards data for every supplier on DC. The next thing that suppliers should be working on for the remainder of 2021 is working with us to achieve the advanced level of promo standards. And the reason why that will be important is because that advanced level is what will help you also achieve order status notification, order support. It's what's going to create a fully formed order so that your distributors can get order data to you more easily, and you can get more easily and through a technology portal status, shipping notifications, the things that you might be doing today manually. Is that fair, Chris?
Yes.
So the product information's been done. The important thing will be to get to that next level, because that next level will create the next step, which is order support.
I think there was one question that was opened about reporting. And so, yes, that's one more thing that I believe makes us unique is we are very transparent on the usage of your product data. Again, going back to this is your data, this isn't ours that, and so we will create reporting and dashboards around who is accessing your data and what. That is definitely in the pipeline. Timeline on that probably by the end of the year. It's definitely around product data. So, but we do believe that's a very, very important piece for all our suppliers to know. So we have a lot of distributors already using your product data and consuming it. We want to make sure you're aware of that. So.
We're working on pulling together or getting out consumable reporting so that suppliers know which distributors and how their product information is being utilized, correct?
Yes.
And so one of the things that is available today is through your Distributor Central reporting today. So in distributorcentral.com, you can actually get some reporting on API impressions. So you can see the numbers of times that through an API, your product information is being consumed. So Distributor Central already has integrations and relationships with other service providers and distributors that are using product information through the OneSource portal. And so we're already able to report back API impressions to you as a supplier today.
Yeah, and we'll get more detailed on that as well. We'll break it down to, who, like which distributor, which products, that kind of thing as well. So.
If you are in the meeting today and you don't have the letter for your company or the email that's specific to your company with what to do to get your product information on the OneSource API or PromoStandards API, you can reach out to me. My email is ttar@distributorcentral.com, and we'll resend that information to you. or you can reach out to your sales rep, or you can reach out to info@distributorcentral.com and we'll get that over to you. But we've already, for every supplier that's in DC, we've already achieved at the end of, right at the end of 2020, beginning of 2021, we achieved the ability for you to have PromoStandards ready and compliant product data.
And one more thing to mention, if you are a supplier attending this that already has a PromoStandards endpoint, there's still a lot of benefit to OneSource as well. I wanted to throw that out there because, you know, there are suppliers that have endpoints. We still download your data into OneSource and allow our distributors to access that data through OneSource. The biggest benefit to those suppliers that already have their own hosted endpoints and, you know, internally is the speed in which we can respond to your distributors. You don't have to worry about, you know, number of, you know, companies consuming your data and crashing your servers, you know, that kind of keeping your data up to date. We're doing all that for you, you know, using our backend system. So there is a lot of value to, you know, to both sides.
And we have recorded today's webinar and all of these slides, and we're going to send this out. So if you happen to miss anything, we're going to send all this information out to you in a follow-up email, with also that link that will allow you to set up some time with our data team to take a look at your specific product set and what information we might need to help you achieve that advanced level of PromoStandards. Is there anything else that we can talk about today, Chris, or anything else that we might have missed?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think I just wanted to make sure we give, you know, ample time to ask questions about PromoStandards. There's, you know, no bad question when it comes to that. If we need to answer, go into more detail about what PromoStandards is, or, you know, what this can mean, I'll be happy to do that.
We'll just keep leaving the chat open and we'll just still make ourselves available. Oh, we do have a question. I like questions. So one of the questions that we have is this particular supplier already has an endpoint.
Yep.
What do they need to do to get their product endpoint set up?
We have already
done it. This is a question we get a lot.
That's one of the things that we will, if you already have an endpoint, we grab all the endpoints that are already out there that are self-hosted by the suppliers directly. And then integrate them into OneSource. We would have reached out to you a while back to get credentials, but you know, we quickly jump on those suppliers. And if you don't see yourself listed inside OneSource already, just let us know, let Tiffany know, and we can get you added. But like I say, typically we react pretty quickly.
So, and also I have another question, and I'm just going to ask it because I get it all the time from suppliers. Let's say that I 2 years ago did I don't know, inventory. So I achieved PromoStandards through inventory a couple of years ago, but I never got to product data. What do I do now?
So with inventory, inventory is one of those things where it was basically just a CSV file that you uploaded to us every so often. If that was something we hosted, or if it's something that you hosted and you still needed to reach PromoStandards or like product data, we can take that similar to the same spreadsheet and import that into our OneSource platform. So like I say, there's different levels. Inventory is something that changes more often than product data, but we have solutions to those.
I think, but as a supplier, my endpoint solution could be different for product data than it is for another endpoint solution, correct? I don't have to like just choose one service or service provider or whatever to have every single endpoint for PromoStandards achieved. You could use DC for your product data endpoint and then do something different for maybe another endpoint.
You can, technically you can. I think the best scenario is that it's all in one platform, because the biggest challenge with that is making sure they match. When a distributor is trying to consume your data, they want to make sure that they, you know, when they cross over to say inventory or order status or product data or something like that, they need to be able to request that same product. and get the same similar result. So yeah, technically you can host it elsewhere. We have suppliers that are hosting inventory. I think inventory is one of the most, the one that happens the most with, because it changes so often. But you know, to answer one question about what endpoint means, basically an endpoint is an API. So it's different. The terms really are the same thing. So an API, an endpoint, those are the same thing. And what it means to you is a way for a distributor to access your product data electronically. It's like so you can think of it as just a URL. You go to a website, www.abc.com, that's the same thing. It's just an address to your product data. So.
What other questions can we help with? One of the questions I've had is, what is the cost for us to help a supplier achieve promo standards? We've already done it. It's already included within listing products on Distributor Central. Again, it's just back to our model of once you're using us as a partner to help you from a technical standpoint with product information, we're going to do whatever we need to do to help you get your product data wherever it is that you need it to go.
Got a question about Shopify. So we have full intention to integrate with products like that. That is part of our roadmap. We need to get product data right before we can get that going. And so once we get through orders, probably 2022, early 2022 is when we'll start talking about integrations with platforms like that. But that will be we have a very large, plan there in order to integrate with Shopify's and QuickBooks and, anyone else, WooCommerce, you could go on and on with that. But that is our, I guess our more long-term plan once we get our product data right.
So there's a question of, I don't know if Dave, I don't know if I can answer that. I think that might, let me get some more information. I'll follow back up with you directly on it.
So in the meantime, between now and when we have our own integrations with Shopify and others, you can build your integrations yourself if you'd like. It will require a little bit of development work, depending on what you're trying to achieve. But our APIs are ready to be used now for those kind of purposes. So if you have your own backend system, if you have your own website, if you have some custom solution or Shopify or whatever, that would be the way. You could start getting, you could start going now with that. We'll just be offering our own, packaged solution, as well for the, companies that can't develop it.
I think that's it. Oh, here's a question. How many suppliers have been pursuing promo standards? So we get this, we get this question all the time. Pablo's from our team is also on the PromoStandards committees. I don't know, like, who would be the best person to answer that, Chris?
I think one of the answers to that is we have seen suppliers be very interested in PromoStandards. One of the burdens have been the technical burden. It's a very expensive process to get PromoStandards in the past. Service providers are the way to go with that, such as ourselves. And so the first 4 or 5 years, we saw all the large suppliers get PromoStandards fairly quickly because, one, they have the development, the resources in-house to develop that. But the second part of it is it quickly started to flatline because once those suppliers got their solution built, you are now into the second tier of suppliers that couldn't achieve it on their own for various reasons. And so that's where we stepped up, and now it's, quick, it's a very fast adoption again. The other side of it is distributors really want PromoStandards. They want the ability to communicate and get real-time, order and product updates without contacting everybody, individually. They want real-time updates. They want, the right data, and they want to be able to know when orders are shipping and things like that. And so, they're chomping at the bit. The more suppliers that are there, the better, because then they are able to communicate with more of them. So we have distributors that will pick up a new supplier within a matter of hours or days of us listing them. So, and again, that goes back to our reporting. We want to be able to tell you that, but we have, distributors and service providers picking up your end, suppliers within hours of being listed.
I guess we'll just leave it open maybe a couple more minutes. And just if any additional questions come in that we can answer. All right, well, if anybody has questions like that you might maybe just think of later on, again, we wanted to keep this kind of informal and just ask what suppliers are really, just answer questions that suppliers are really thinking about that are important to them. I am always available. My email is ttar@distributorcentral.com. Most everybody in here knows me. You can also reach out to Chris at cschlimmer@distributorcentral.com, and we'll answer any questions that you have, and we'll send out the link to set up a meeting to start the process of going through your product information and identifying areas that we might need to get additional information on for that advanced product set achievement. But if anybody comes up with a question after this that you didn't think of today, send it in or email me or reach out, and we'll make sure to get it answered and get you the resources that you need. All right. Chris, anything else for the good of the cause? All right, well, thanks everyone for your time. I really appreciate it. And look for a follow-up email today, or maybe today or tomorrow, just recapping everything we spoke about. Thanks, guys.